What did you text me last night about this podcast?
I said, don't forget, tomorrow is the podcast. Don't show up looking like Adam Sandler's white trash West Virginia cousin. It's exactly what I said. Welcome to Property Management Uncensored. I am Phil Kazmierzak along with Samantha McKinney. Today's episode is titled Questions, Quandaries, and Quips, because I like alliteration. Mm-hmm. So today we emailed all of our tenants and said, hey, what questions do you have? We're going to answer them on our podcast and you can tune in for the results. So that is what we are doing today. We actually did get some good questions.
We did, and that was a little nerve-wracking.
And we got some weird questions, which we don't need to respond to because they were so specific that, yeah we didn't need to.
It's something that we just responded to in email form,
yeah. They were a little too specific or just not what we were looking for. You ready to dive in?
Yep.
All right, question 1. It's been a year now, and I'm wondering if the $60 monthly risk mitigation fee will come off now that we've been here for a year.
No.
And the reason is,
not.
And the reason is, as soon as we remove it, 100% of the time, someone's late on rent within the next 2 months. 100% of the time.
Except for one time.
Who?
But, and I wasn't going to say anything because I don't want people to think we did it, but that was when we managed apartment complexes.
We don't have that. Yeah, we don't have that portfolio anymore. Yeah.
And it was my guy, Azalea, the one who...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I put him and...
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And I took his off, and he did me justice.
And we also did put him on a month-to-month originally. So then when we put him on a year lease, that's when we took it off.
So it was kind of like a brand new tenancy. So yeah, it was a little bit different. So
great. I do remember that guy. He was wonderful.
Yes.
Someone said, thank you so much for taking the time to think of us. We want to share that we have been very happy, grateful, and comfortable in the property we are renting. It's a place where we truly feel at home. That's what we want to see. That's exactly what we want to see.
Phil, get off of the internet.
It was not me. It's all grammatically correct and everything. It was not me. When and how do I renew my lease? This is a process where you just started really taking over it. And we start 90 days prior with the owner.
I was stressed last week.
I know. Doing it for the first time.
Yes. I was stressed.
Yeah, so what happens is 90 days prior to the lease expiring, we reach out to the owner and say, hey, we recommend renewal with this tenant, or we do not recommend renewal for this tenant, and these are the reasons why. For us to not recommend renewal, there has to be an abundance of late payments, generally 2 or more late payments in a calendar year. We won't offer a renewal. Or damage, violations, fines, I don't know, maybe the SWAT breaks down your door. Something like that, which just happened. They did not get renewed.
Almost,
but they did not get renewed.
Maybe if they would have fixed the door.
I know. Gosh.
Or let me know what happened.
Yeah. I want the details. But they did not get renewed.
Maybe we would have renewed you. Maybe we don't think it's that bad.
So 90 days prior, we reach out to the owner and say, hey, we want to renew these tenants. What do you think? The owner says, yes, go ahead and renew the tenants. Once we get that word from the owner, that confirmation, we then reach out to the tenants. Generally, you're at about the 80-day mark prior to when the lease expires, because we have to have all that stuff out 75 days prior to the lease renewing. So somewhere after that 90-day mark is when you're going to hear about the renewal process. Mm-hmm. If we do not renew, we have to send a 60-day notice of non-renewal. We actually send that at the 75-day notice as well, or as soon as we hear back from the owner that we're not renewing that particular lease, because we want to give people as much notice as possible. We can wait until 60 days, but our company policy is to send them out 75 days prior. So try to be fair. Because moving is a pain. We all get that, regardless of the circumstances as to why we're not renewing a lease. Maybe it's violations. Maybe the owner's selling the property. And then we're going to offer it to you to see if you want to buy it. But we want to be fair about it. Yep. Are tenants responsible for pressure washing the home?
No.
No, they're not. That is a landlord obligation. So if it's something that needs to be done, go ahead and submit a photo of the side of your house or back of the house or whatever section that needs it, and we can run it by the owner.
I think it's a liability. Have you
It
ever
is.
seen somebody try to pressure wash it? Doesn't know how to pressure wash.
Yeah, and if you use it on a setting too high, like legit pressure washer, you could blow off some of the siding, whatever. You can do damage to the home. Blow off the paint around the windows.
Do you want to hear a funny story?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. So I was in OBX last weekend, or not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And I was sitting out on the dock right before I left, and I was like, oh, there's a spring, there's a house next door. And it was really hot all weekend. It was really weird weather. There was a mosquito advisory. I got eaten alive by mosquitoes. And so, I didn't think anything of it. Last day, sitting on the dock, and I feel this spritz. And I'm like, oh, the neighbors have, a sprinkler system. This feels nice. Well, then I realized that they're pressure washing the house next door, and it's like bleach water. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I was like, that sprinkler water.
You were getting bleached while sitting outside.
Yep.
Yeah. So don't do it yourself. Let us know. I have a pressure washer. I do it myself. Well, but I normally do like the concrete. I don't do the house itself.
Okay, so I was cleaning out my garage this past weekend, literally I found a pressure washer, so
You just found a pressure washer in your garage?
Yeah, and I was thinking about giving it a go.
God.
Wish me luck.
So there's going to be a work order coming in for your property, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you guys know on the next podcast how that goes.
Do you have 2-year lease renewals? We generally don't. Unless it is military orders or something like that involved, credit dictates, rent is always being paid on time, property is in good condition, and ultimately it's up to the owner. Mm-hmm. So
we don't like to.
we don't, yeah, and I'll tell you that COVID ruined all of the long-term leases. It used to be we would sign someone to a 2-year lease, a 3-year lease, a 4-year lease. It didn't really matter as much. Once COVID happened and you could not evict people, we were like, wow, we're not doing this again. Mm-hmm. So now everything is an annual lease and an annual renewal.
Yeah, even though COVID is gone, we don't. Who knows? We might have like the swine flu or something in a couple years.
I know.
It's the Black Plague. Like, I don't know.
You're gonna see locusts coming around for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Which show was that? Oh, The Righteous Gemstones had a bunch of locusts.
Gosh, like The Walking Dead is gonna come to life too.
You never know.
Who knows?
In these times, you never know. If you require 60 days notice to vacate, which is true, when do you offer a lease renewal or inform the tenant that you do not plan on renewing the lease? We talked about this a little bit ago. We start the process 90 days prior, and if we're not renewing the lease, you get a notice about 75 days prior to the end of your lease. We got that question twice, so people are antsy about that one.
I would want to know too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, when do I gotta start packing up my stuff?
There's a lot of landlords out there that are not legit. They're not following the laws. And at the end of an annual lease, they'll be like, oh, even if there's an automatic renewal built in or something, they'll be like, oh, you didn't say anything, so we're just, moving you out. Like, there's a lot of bad landlords out there. They're generally not companies. They're independent because they don't know.
Some bad companies too. But
there are some bad companies out there too.
Yeah.
When will I get my security deposit? So that's something I close out.
Yes, but we 45 days.
Yeah, it's always
the
within.
law.
Yeah, the law says we have to give 45 days. There can be an extension on that, but we have to notify you prior to that 45-day mark if that's going to happen. It is very rare that happens. It was actually longer during COVID, but that was rescinded after. But we will. It's very rare we even get close to the 45-day mark because our policies, the way that we have everything set up, is we're pretty much ready to go at the 30-day mark.
I tell them the cleaner and neater you leave the property, the quicker we can get the security deposit disposition done.
Absolutely. I did. Today is the 15th, 16th, 17th. I don't know what today is.
I don't even know. I don't even know what today is either.
Any idea what today is? Anyway.
It's Tuesday. I know that.
Yeah, it's one of those days mid-month. I don't know. But we just closed out 3 leases from the last day of last month. So we're 2 weeks into this month, and we've already closed out 3 leases.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty quick process. And one of them had no repairs. One of them had to change light bulbs. and the other one had a couple things they needed to do, but still, they were all done in 2 weeks. So that's
I
actually
will
pretty
say
good.
light bulbs are a pain in the butt though,
They
because
are.
every time I go to change one, I don't have that size or that or that color or.
I guarantee that tenant will reach out saying, why was I charged $50 for light bulbs? The light bulbs aren't $50, but paying that vendor to go out there and do it, or a trip fee if we do it, that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for the light bulbs.
I have like 17, well, once I find the key to my car, I have like 17 different boxes of light bulbs, and then I'll still go to change it, and I spend a lot of my time actually retrieving light bulbs.
Yeah. Just change them before you move out.
Yeah. What do you do for a living, Samantha? Change light bulbs.
Change light bulbs. That's it. When is my rent due? What is the grace period?
Rent's due on the 1st. You have a 5-day grace period.
Yes. And so rent is due no later than the 5th of every month. And if you say something like, oh, my bank account was frozen or my internet was down on the 4th and you don't pay rent until the 6th, you've got that grace period for a reason.
Should have paid it on the 1st, and then you had all of that 5 days to let us know you had an issue.
Yep, absolutely. So we have to treat everyone fairly and equally on that one. What happens if I want to break my lease?
You pay your lease break fee, and
Yep, that's
then
it.
you move on. Yeah.
Yeah, so every lease has a lease break fee built into it, so check your lease and follow the rules. That's all it is. And the generally it's a lease break fee and then 60 days notice, and the 60 days notice does not start until the 1st. The lease break fee has to be paid, and then the 60-day notice counts starting at the beginning of the next month.
Yes.
Just like with
Just
military.
like, yeah, and just like with the regular notice. So it's, I say it's just you pay your, because all the other terms are pretty much the same. We make it really easy on everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we understand. Here's the thing about lease breaks. There are people that will, property managers, landlords, that will dig their heels into the ground and say, no, you're absolutely not moving out. Well, if you have a job change out of state, you're moving out.
Yeah.
So why don't you negotiate, talk to the tenants, and make it work for everyone?
I remember asking you why we weren't why we weren't harder about it. And you were like, if they don't want to be there, Sam, we don't want them there.
Absolutely. Additionally, there is a law here in Virginia where when a property goes vacant, like a lease break situation, you have to rent it out as soon as possible anyway. You are not allowed to let it just sit vacant until the end of the lease and then start the leasing renewal process. So as soon as you know that tenant's out, you are legally bound to start the releasing process anyway.
The process that I was used to before was you pay 1 month or a fee equal to 1 month's rent to remarket it, and then you still have to pay every single day until a new tenant is placed.
Yeah, we used to have a policy, and it was frowned upon by judges where you paid a lease break fee and then you paid rent until the property re-rented. And that's essentially what you're talking about. And that it was essentially shot down because you can either have a lease break fee or you can have them pay until the property re-rents. You cannot do both because that lease break fee terminates the lease. So you can't do both.
And I mean, I get it. Like, who hasn't broken a lease? I've broken a lease. I mean...
Have I?
Have you not?
You know, probably when we moved to Virginia Beach, we probably did.
I remember, and I'm still so grateful to those apartments. When I bought my first house, I went to them. I just re-signed my lease. I was there for a year, re-signed my lease. I was maybe 2 months into it, and I went to them and I was like, I just bought a house. And she was like, you know what? Congratulations, like free and clear. And I was just so grateful to her for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
her
very
name
nice.
was Diane.
What do I do? What do I do if I lock myself out? We get this one all the time.
I'm sorry, but you have to call a locksmith.
I know. I mean, if it's during business hours and you want to email in and say, hey, do you have a key to my property? I can come get it. Absolutely. Go ahead and do that. But if it's after hours, call a locksmith.
And I can't, because we do get it all the time. Like, I cannot, if I went and saved everybody, that would be my whole job.
I have a lockbox on my property somewhere with key in it as well, just in case my front door lock doesn't work, and because it's electronic and all that stuff.
Too.
Like, Do something like that.
Me too. In case just say vendors, if I don't want to take the day off work and I want to use my lockbox and they come in and fix stuff, beautiful. Please do.
Oh, it's not like this here. Here, to call a locksmith, it's like $85 or $100. It's expensive, but it's not the end of the world. Up in Northern Virginia, my ex and I both locked ourselves out of the house on separate occasions. And it was like $325 for his visit, and I found someone that would do it for like $250 for mine. It was ridiculous, and we were angry. And of course, when he did it, I'm yelling at him. When I do it, he's yelling at me.
Yeah, but he got charged more, which is funny though.
Yeah. This last one. Why can't I call you?
I don't like to talk on the phone.
Well, there's a lot of that going on. It's not an efficient use of time.
No, it's not. One half of the time, if you can call right away, you're going to call right away. You're not even going to try to find the answer to your own question. If you have to take the 2 minutes to type out the email, you're going to take the 2 minutes to find the answer to your own question. And that's a lovely thing, independence is, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Two, I'm not going to sit there and argue back and forth with you on the phone.
Right.
Like, I'm just not going to do it. There is a paper trail when it comes to emails, so you can't say, she said this, he said that. And it's funny because the amount of people that we catch lying about stuff from that is, it's absolutely insane. Like, we go back and you're like, oh, really? And, we show it right there. And sometimes they'll lie about things that, would cost company time. Like, we would have to sit down and talk about, because we'd be like, why is this being said to people? But now we can go back and be like, it's not our staff. We're not saying that,
Yep.
And we can just continue with our day. I'm out in the field all the time between appointments. We don't have, a receptionist who sits there and answers the phone all day, and we don't want one.
No.
So,
no. That's not there's no, if people wanted to pay additional money so that they could have someone to reach, absolutely.
Go ahead.
We'll do it.
Yeah, beautiful.
But if we were to put that out there and be like, hey, you know what, we're adding, $20 or $25 to, this cost or whatever, they'd be, oh my God, I'm not paying that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's so much faster and more efficient.
And we answer emails really well. We don't get a lot of complaints saying that people don't, or that we don't answer people. We had one last week. Somebody said that they called in on a certain day. We checked our call logs, even though we don't answer the phone. We checked it. They didn't call.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Lots of reasons.
All right, that is it on our tenant questions. So we're going to move over. You're going to ask lots of questions today because it's your turn to answer the rapid fire questions.
And you were laughing.
I was laughing.
Snarkily in the back this morning. And it's hard for me to think on the spot, so these kind of kill me sometimes.
Sometimes it's hard to think, period. Like, it's been that kind of week.
Yeah. So let's go. And it's only Tuesday.
I know.
But I feel like we didn't get a weekend, so we're still rolling from last weekend.
Even this morning, I was like, how is it not Friday?
Last week.
Like, how?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Okay. What's the weirdest thing you've found left behind in a rental property, and did you keep it?
No, if it's weird, why would I keep it?
Because you're weird.
I've seen, no, because, ew. No, the only thing that I have kept behind from rental properties are plants.
Because you're an addict.
Because I'm like,
because you're an addict.
Yes. Because they'll leave, and I'm like, how can they leave? It's gonna die. So I have like gone back with trucks to like take a plant home. It's a problem. No, but I've seen sex toys. I've seen medicine for STDs and like stuff like that. Like there was
stuff they should take.
An old apartment complex that we used to manage. Those move outs that I used to do. Oh, buddy, there was interesting stuff in there. Let me tell you.
It's like when we're coming to the property, you should probably take everything or hide everything.
Yeah.
Like the amount of bongs I've seen. Before
drugs,
it was legal in Virginia.
Drugs for sure. For sure, lots of drugs. Like there were people you could tell were What are they called when you collect a bunch of high-end stuff and then sell it out of your trunk?
Like just resellers?
Yeah. You could tell like that
Like they were on eBay, like doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I don't think I found anything weird. Someone did leave an electric guitar
Ooh,
at a property.
that's a good. Did you take it?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
contacted everyone and they never responded, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't contact them for the plants. You shouldn't have left those babies behind.
What is your survival snack?
What do you mean by
What's your go-to to snack on?
peanut butter pretzels?
Peanut butter pretzels.
And
perhaps something else that
and sweet tarts.
There we go.
Yeah. I was like, well, does it have to have like protein though? Like, do I have to survive on it? That's what I was like, what do you mean? But if I'm just sitting there snacking, sweet tarts.
I have an emergency supply of sweet tarts for her.
I know, and I finished a box the other day, and I wanted to ask if he had some more for me, but then I was too embarrassed because I went through that box so fast. But you saw it in the trash can anyways, and you still gave me a whole nother box.
I know, because I had an emergency stash.
Was that yesterday?
That was yesterday. Are you done already?
It's almost gone.
I know. I opened a box of Nerds yesterday, and it's almost gone. If you could outsource one part of your job, which part would it be?
Sending disclosures.
Really?
Yes.
That could be outsourced.
I know. But I really love Melissa, and I hate to give her more mundane tasks than... But, I mean, I've thought about it because now you keep giving me all your stuff.
I know. Shit rolls downhill. I don't know what to tell you.
So, yeah, she actually might get disclosures. Because now I have renewals.
What's the weirdest thing you believed as a kid? Or something that your parents lied to you about that is not true?
That if you drive with your dome light
Absolutely,
on in
that
your
was mine
car,
too.
that you'll get a ticket.
That it was illegal to drive with the light on in the car.
Mm-hmm.
That was mine.
Yep. There's, there are quite a few more, but I can't.
I mean,
Like,
there's always
that is the number one.
sitting too close to the
one that-
TV, swallowing gum, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What is it? It takes like 7 years to disintegrate in your stomach if you swallow a piece
Yeah,
of
but
gum.
I still believe that.
I don't know if that's
And
true or
I
not.
still remember the last time I swallowed a piece of gum because I was like, how long is it? It was on this podcast because I was like, oh, I'm chewing gum. I don't want them to know. It's going to look trashy on the internet. And so I swallowed it really.
On the internet.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, they're always putting me on the internet.
This is the one that I was laughing about.
My eye keeps watering. I swear I'm not crying.
Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button on your life? The undo button is not an option.
Yeah, come on. Like, for sure I would take
I would definitely
the
choose
undo.
that one.
Rewind, I would still do. Can I fast forward? Can I like re-fast forward again? Because like
Sure, why not?
I would still go through all of the experiences and do all of the things that I did in life. I would just get through them and learn my lessons quicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, now I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, so I would rewind, but I would like also fast forward.
If you were invisible, where would you hang out? Men's locker room. I'll just say it.
Oh yeah.
I'll just say it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no other place.
No other place.
Yeah.
No other place.
Yep.
All right. Would you rather sing everything you have to say, or dance everywhere you had to go?
A dance everywhere I had to go.
Really?
I would get assassinated if I.
Oh my
You wouldn't
God.
have to hear me sing for long because somebody would assassinate me. Like they'd be like, "Shut this chick up."
I don't think you're important enough to be assassinated. You just get shot.
Well, what is it? Only assassination if you're important?
Yeah. We just get shot.
Who's up next on the podcast, Grant? Cooper.
Cooper. If Ziva, so Ziva's her dog. If Ziva
baby.
could text you, what would she say?
I'm tired of this shit, Grandpa. Right now, she'd probably say, I gotta pee. Because you are so good with letting your dog out. And
Yeah.
I woke up this morning and, she's always been a good dog. I don't have to, that's not the last thing I have to do before I go to bed. Woke up this morning, was walking to the bathroom. Oh, bang. Right into a big puddle of piss. I was not happy.
Cooper will wake me up in the middle of the night 3 times. See, it doesn't matter. If he's like, he's got to go out, he goes and sits right next to the bed and stares at me and goes...
Yeah, see, my dog...
Until I wake up.
My dog will mouth breathe just over and over, and she knows I can't stand that noise, so I have to get up.
She did not do that last night, though, did she?
I didn't hear it. So I'm getting old, though.
What song would you choose to play every time you enter a room?
Toxic by Britney Spears.
That's a good one. That's a great one.
Toxic by Britney Spears.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is your personal red flag?
Like of myself?
Of yourself.
Morning self-destructive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine is I will cut someone off like that. I do not care.
Me and you talk
Just
about that all
ghost.
the time.
Gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I won't think about them
It
again.
doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Yeah, I won't think about them again. I won't be upset about it.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah.
That's not a problem I'm choosing to care about today.
We've mastered the law of detachment. It's a beautiful thing.
That's why we're so independent.
I know, but like, I think sometimes it's a problem.
It could be.
Have you ever,
Wait, I'm asking you the questions. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Just wait till you have to actually start to have feelings again and you can't. And then everybody thinks you're just cold. Because you're like, oh, it's fine. You just don't care about things.
I don't.
You're going to have to learn how to.
I'm fine being by myself with Cooper.
Cooper's not going to be around forever, Phil.
I know. Another couple
And then
months.
what are you going to do?
I'm going to lose my mind.
Bother me.
Probably.
What did you text me last night about this podcast?
I said...
What was it?
I said, don't forget, tomorrow is the podcast. Don't show up looking like Adam Sandler's white trash West Virginia cousin. It's exactly what I said.
I did okay today. But then I was like, I don't think I'm a dress girly anymore. I was like, I feel like I'm going to, I can't. I miss my sweats.
All right, and that is our episode. Thanks for tuning in to Property Management Uncensored. That was questions, quandaries, and quips. We'll see you next time.